Good to have you on the program again. And of course, still remains the economy today. KAFTAN Television is the station. Okechukwu Bogo, your host on the program. And today, as usual, we'll talk about business. And we've tried to make Wednesday a very special edition. And so this Wednesday we'll do the same. And that's looking at businesses and getting to know how to identify businesses. That is in the series of resolution, the resolution series. Not resolution now, reinstatement series. So that's what we'll have today. So please do join us. Reinforcement, sorry, in our reinforcement series. And so we'll also we'll look at that to see how to find businesses, how to identify businesses, the ones that will boom, blow, prosper, shield, blossom, all of that. You can use any of those, and that's it. Well, that's how we're coming in. And I have a guest who will be coming in after this first process, and that's talking about the fact that we have business news. And so please do join us as we look at what we have in the business news. Welcome again.
Nigeria's Eurobond yields climbed to 7.11% from 6.98% as escalating tensions in the Middle East triggered a global sell-off in emerging market debt. Reports indicate that investors shifted funds towards safe haven assets such as gold and United States treasuries following a joint military strike by the United States and Israel targeting Iran. Meanwhile, rising tensions is also reported to have pushed Brent crude prices towards $80 per barrel, above Nigeria's $64.85 budget benchmark. Analysts, however, added that though higher oil prices could boost government revenue, it may also raise domestic fuel costs and increase capital flight risks. The Housing Development Advocacy Network, HDAN, has welcomed the Central Bank of Nigeria's decision to reduce the monetary policy rate, MPR, by 50 basis points from 27% to 26.5%, saying it will improve access to housing finance. According to HDAN, the MPR sets the benchmark for lending rates across banks and mortgage institutions. It adds that lowering it is expected to reduce the cost of funds for financial institutions, including the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, FMBN, and the Nigeria Mortgage Refinance Company, NMRC, enabling more affordable mortgage products for Nigerians. HDAN also noted that high interest rates have been a major barrier to home ownership, particularly for low and middle income earners and young people who make up a large share of Nigeria's population, pointing out that they remain largely excluded from formal housing finance schemes. The group went on to describe the move as a positive step towards stimulating growth in the country's mortgage and real estate sector. On aviation, the International Air Transport Association, IATA, reports that the Africa to Asia air cargo corridor recorded the fastest growth worldwide in January 2026, rising 41.6% compared with the same period in 2025. It also revealed that global air cargo demand increased by 5.6%, while international cargo flights grew by 7.2%. Additionally, African carriers posted the strongest regional performance with an 18.2% rise in demand and a 6.5% increase in capacity. It says the Africa to Asia route surge reflects expanding trade in electronics, industrial goods, and other shipments between the two continents, although the lane still accounts for only 1.3% of global cargo, pointing out that other corridors showed mixed trends, with Europe to Asia rising 15.2% and Middle East to Asia 12.9%. It, however, explained that Asia North America declined slightly by 0.6%, with African airlines recording strong passenger growth.
Oh, well, that happens to be what you've just said, and talking about our business news, reaching you from here. I believe that important message has been sent across and you have heard. Well, we are looking at the factors that would help someone to identify businesses wherever they may find them. And so that's what we'll be talking about today. And I did mention that I have a guest, but I believe our guest will be with us soon as we go on with the program. Well, for the purpose of that, I would want to say that I'll just take a minute break and I'll return.
If we had a better structure, I thought I had some kind of stuff in mind to say geopolitical zones. And we had a plan that every geopolitical zone must have a power station, for example. That means we have a minimum of six strong power stations.
Yes.
It's very important that we embrace these investors.
I think what they want to do now is to be able to make them understand that, look, going forward, it's no longer going to be business as usual. Whatever that may be happening in the past, we want to now be able to put a system in place that will checkmate, correct the ills of the past, give us a new pedestal from which to stand and operate going forward.
Officially, what we get in the country, 79% is from crude, foreign exchange, 11% is from oil, from gas, natural gas. Between the two of them is 90%.
If we are getting whatever it is we are getting from oil revenue today, you look at the oil revenue is more than enough to take Nigeria to her next level. But at the end of the day, the processes, the leakages, and so many things that have become like an epidemic on our economy will not allow whatever we are gaining or getting from this deposit or these blessings from God to give us what we are looking for.
The coming of Brazil now this time is important. Then first they have to organize a workshop for these herders, those who rear cows. This is why it's good for you to have your cows in a particular place, and these are things you do to feed them well, and they will equally have good meat for consumption.
The end of a matter is better than its beginning, and in the other way around, the beginning of
Okay, look at the stock exchange. Please, glad to have you back. We'll take a look at the stock exchange as at yesterday, and as we go on the program. The stock exchange market, Nigerian stock exchange market, of course, the NGX performance Tuesday, March 3, 2026 was quite impressive. The benchmark NGX All Share Index rose by 1,107.73 points, that is 0.57%, to close at 196,621.96, representing a 1-week gain of 1.1%, a 4-week gain of 18.52%, and a year-to-date gain of 26.35%. The total trades 879,912. Sorry, 879. 912,870 shares traded in 86,688 deals, valued at 44,491,516 44.72 naira. And the gainers, out of the 39 stocks gainers, it was led by UAC of Nigeria. They had 10% increase, and Sunu Assurance Nigeria came second with 10% as well, and Oando 9.96% gain. Among the losers, we have there are 35 stocks that lost, and the top losers are the Vitson Healthcare at minus 10%, Mikea Industries at minus 9.95%. I don't need to say minus because it's already a loss. We know that is a loss. And the Aluminium Extrusion Industry is lost 9.88%. The top trading volumes, Fortis Global Insurance did 58.4 million shares. Sterling Bank did 56.8 million shares. And Japan Gold and Ventures did 47.3 million shares. The market capitalization of the NGX stood at 126.21 trillion naira. That is as it was at yesterday, the way it is for yesterday on the stock exchange. Well, we'll still continue, and again, take a little break and return.
If we had a better structure, I thought I had some kind of stuff in mind to say geopolitical zones. And we had a plan that every geopolitical zone must have a power station, for example. That means we have a minimum of six strong power stations.
Yes.
It's very important that we embrace these investors.
I think what they want to do now is to be able to make them understand that, look, going forward, it's no longer going to be business as usual. Yeah. Whatever that may be happening in the past, we want to now be able to put a system in place that will checkmate, correct the ills of the past, give us a new pedestal from which to stand and operate going forward.
Officially, what we get in the country, 79% is from crude, foreign exchange, 11% is from oil, from gas, natural gas. Between the two of them is 90%.
If we are getting whatever it is we are getting from oil revenue today, you look at the oil revenue is more than enough to take Nigeria to her next level. But at the end of the day, the processes, the leakages, and so many things that have become like an epidemic on our economy will not allow whatever we are gaining or getting from this deposit or these blessings from God to give us what we are looking for.
the coming of Brazil now this time is important, then first they have to organize a workshop for these herders, those who rear cows. This is why it's good for you to have your cows in a particular place, and these are things you do to feed them well, and they will equally have good meat for consumption.
The end of a matter is better than its beginning, and in the other way around, the beginning of a thing also can predict what the afternoon or the evening of that same thing would look like. With the trend that has not been curbed and nothing has been discussed about it, for instance, when you see a project like Fresh
We'll just go on to identify some businesses. Of course, as I said, the topic is how to identify businesses. And of course, we're talking about businesses that can grow, expand, and yield steady and healthy returns. And in the process of identifying businesses, of course, you don't identify the ones that will be useless. So that's what it will be like as I'll keep handling this until we get to see a guest, but in his absence, we'll go on to do this. Looking at some sectors with growth potentials in Nigeria, you know, for those who are startups talking about how we'll get these things done, we have it. One is the fintech, digital payment solutions, lending platforms, and financial services targeting underserved populations. That's also what we know. That is what can help and grow and get better. That's talking about growth potentials in Nigeria. Fintech, as earlier on the program and other editions, Dr. Komolafe had earlier mentioned fintech as well. And there are so many beautiful things about that that we can get into, and you will not have a loss. But development, improvement, and increase is what will keep coming as you take other precautionary measures to make sure that it goes well. There is also e-commerce. E-commerce, that is talking about online retail businesses, grocery delivery. You know, some people would want to do online delivery of groceries, and they will just post on their mails and their DMs, and they will just post and say that if you need these things, it could be delivered to you. All you need to do is specify the ones you need. They will send you the list, and you specify the ones you need. Even if the one you need is out of the list, it could be included. And they'll do the running around of the errands of getting these things delivered at your doorstep. This is another major route through which a lot has been gained before now. That is, benefit has been made before now in the businesses of our people. Talking about using e-commerce, you know, logistics services, catering to Nigeria's growing digital audience. You know, there is this catering service that someone does, and you just post it. All you need to ask for it. Whatever kind of meal or dish you want will be prepared and brought to you at your doorstep, or if you like in your office. And all you need to do is just pay for it, and it's done. And so that's how some very busy women who are in serious businesses, and those who are there will be able to do something and continue with their businesses, and their families are growing, their businesses are growing. These are some of the things. Well, we'll still talk about many more, but before I continue, I want to say there is agribusiness, there is renewable energy, there is also healthcare. Well, I still want to talk about this, so Dr. Komolafe will also talk about many others. We'll just, for the last time, take a little break and for us to bring him in. I will stay here and talking about what I've just mentioned, talking about fintech, talking about e-commerce, as well as the one I said, I'll say continue with agribusiness, then renewable energy, and there is also healthcare, how to get into these. These are businesses that you can identify that can help move you from where you are to a bigger platform because there is concentration effectively. And I'll still continue with this, but of course I did mention that we're bringing in Dr. Komolafe to the program today. And so let's say, good to have you again. Welcome, sir, Dr. James Komolafe.
Wow, good to be here again. Good to see you out there, and good to have you around.
All right. As our topic implies, we're talking about identifying businesses. And so I was mentioning, some of them that we could identify businesses that can grow, that can expand, that can yield steady and healthy returns. If you get into them.
Great.
So I did mention some as I just did the summary as you just stepped in.
Yes, you're right.
So we can look at more that you're saying before I last stay looking at these other areas.
Well, okay, most of the time when people talk about identifying businesses, they take the game outward first. That is wrong strategy. The game does not begin from the outside because the spectacle you wear determines what you see, how you see it per time. So identifying businesses is critical, especially at such a time as our own, in the sense that the whole projection begins from you. Because there are people out there who will see a cup with water inside that is just half the cup. And perspective matters a huge lot. You can say, oh, this cup is half empty. And you can also say this cup is half full. So businesses, as far as identification is concerned, must be woven around care. The care identity is critical for any business. What you don't care for does not arrest your focus. What you don't care for is the least of your burdens or worries. What you don't care for out there, you don't show any concern. What you don't show care for and showcase care down the line does not attract or invite your participation. So care is the first identity to recognizing any business you want to do, no matter the category, no matter where, who is involved and all of that. It is when you care that you can share. And there is more to businesses than just carrying goods or services. We want to see the care factor. Oh, how well have you been able to pay close attention to us vis-a-vis our need, my need? You want to do private business, corporate business? You want to work for an organization or what? You want to sell, you want to buy, you want to produce goods, you want to produce service. Care is the first thing you will have to make sure you fix. And that begins from you if you must do business, because you need that facility as an incentive to hit the ground running in the first place. What you don't care for can just be emotional. And after a while, you just give it up. And you say, okay, that thing is no more moving and all of that. And then some of the things you need to see, you will not see them again. So the first identity for any business is care. That doesn't end there. That is the bottom line. That is the foundation. And you don't lay a foundation of a building and pack into it. Beside care, you also need to showcase compassion. Now, compassion is a combination of two words, the comp and the passion. When I say com, if I add E to C-O-M, that joins up with passion, and I add E to it, okay, how does it pronounce? Come. So for any business you want to identify after showcasing care that arrests your attention, arrest your personal development, to want to be able to see what is inside it, you need compassion. It is compassion now that will connect you with the emotion of the one you want to supply, your goods, your services, because it's not just about selling. Selling has gone beyond, oh, you have this need, I can meet it. See my own, see my own. No, you need to be at the same emotional situation with your customer so that you can engage him productively with what you have. It's the customer nowadays, they are not just looking for, oh, you have what I need. They want to see
what more you can give.
What more you can deliver. Your persona is critical to them in the delivery process. If you're the one who doesn't even give a damn, just take what you ask me, they are saying, hey, excuse me, we can't continue with that woman. We can't continue with this man. So compassion is your capacity to identify with the emotion of your customer. Why does he need this? How biting is this issue? How well have you been able to do what I call what? APC to your customer, okay? And I've not been political here. What, to be able to catch the emotional reality of your client for which you want to do business with, having identified needs, you need to do first and foremost appreciation. Appreciate the depth of his needs. Appreciate his position about that thing, the quantity, the quality, and the character behind that need. Appreciate it. That is A. And then P, you're being able to appreciate and identify with how deep and concerned, grave is the need, then you can penetrate him. Then he'll be able to open up and say, you see, I've really suffered this way and all that. And why he's saying that, okay, you know what he's telling you? He's giving you further hints so that you can do what we call value chain business. One thing can lead to another. You can say, okay, even that one too, there's a solution. I will go the extra mileage to also solve it for you. That is appreciation. And then penetration. You might need to ask me, what is letter C? It is contribution. And then he sees his needs being met in the way he loves it best. When you do service in that kind of a situation, you know what you create? You create bonding. You create harmony. You and your customer begins to understand one another and then to be able to make business to go on. So you need the care facility. You need the compassion that brings in the emotion of your customer so that you can supply the goods or perform the service much more appreciably and appropriately. Then what is the other letter you need? Of course, you need competence. You don't do what you don't know. Find out. Because you see, it's not enough to know what I need. You must be able to showcase what? Competence. Because that determines the level of your capacity to continue with us or not. So how well are you versed about that thing? And then you don't have to get a scholarly degree or certification to be able to know at least the bottom line. To say, okay, this thing, okay, it works this way and all that. The elementary principle about what you are going into, at least know it. Don't say, oh, no, I'm not a pharmacist. No, I'm not this, I'm not that. And then opportunity comes. Know the nitty-gritty. It's not until you become technical before you can do business. Or at least what is necessary to be known so that when they ask you questions on the surface, you can relate with it. Don't go into a business you have not done research over. you don't know pretty much about, so that you don't become stranded at the hour of delivery. And then when you are stranded, people say, so why bring the wrong peg in the right hole? And that is it. You are just hooked down there, not knowing where to turn and what to do next. So please learn about that stuff. Is it a skill you need to develop? Please develop it. Know something about it. Don't say, well, my line of whatever is this, and then you start transferring blame. Customers don't like that. Don't say, well, this is not really my line. I had a BSc English, so I don't really know much about economics. Then don't go to the field of business. Every human being is an economist, a principal, and all of that. As far as you want to see into the question of demand and supply, then you are an economist. There's a need somewhere, there's a gap somewhere, and there is somehow, somewhere for which you want to be able to fix it. Then you want to do business. So very vital, as you need care and you need compassion to blend, you need competence to be able to do. And that to do it rightly, to fix it rightly and solve problems. And where is the place of competence? Number one, when you don't know, you cannot flow. And when you cannot flow in a particular line of business you want to do, I'm sorry, you'll be hooked. People will lose confidence in your capacity to deliver. And you see, trust is very critical in the marketplace now. You want to do any business, even when you know, and there is no that commitment. So that's another word there. I've told you about care. I've told you about compassion. I've told you about what now? The other one, competence. Then the next one, the next C is commitment. So it takes your own pivotal dedication to making sure you do it according to order, according to rules. You don't overpromise and underdeliver. Rather, you underpromise and overdeliver, so that that trust equity can be built, so that your clients, your customers can really rely on you to meeting their needs as at when due. So you need commitment to it. Where you have commitment attached to your competence, you will always have patronage. You will always have places where to fix it, because they say, that man, call him. If you don't want so and so to fail, call this man, call this woman. They are prompt, they are on time in their company and in their organization or whatever. And there are some other people, they'll say, is it that woman? I beg, I don't have her time. Is it that man? Is it that guy? I don't have his time. Why? Because there's no commitment. So one of the equity you need is commitment. You must bring it to table. People must be able to take your yes for yes and no for no. Very vital. You need commitment. And then character is another one. You might imagine everything is see. The more you see, the more you do. So very vital. You need character. Your attitude must be the one that communicates positiveness, positive sense of value, and that you are just out for your client, not what is in it for you. Though in business, it is also what is in it for you, but that is not what you put first. Put service. When you extol service and you are ready to serve, to go the extra mileage through character, outside of the box thinking, delivering and supplying, then you are good to go in business. So your character must be straightforward. Be one who does business with fairness. Of course, fear of God. Not that you bought something 10 naira and you say, to God who made me, I bought this thing 40,000.
And you want to sell it for 100,000.
And you want to sell it for 100,000, just taking advantage of people. Where it should be within limit, but by the time it becomes something overboard and the other person who gets to buy from you eventually finds out that you cheated him or her, that will not all go well. So business, please, you need character. And what is character? Capacity to keep to who you are for what it should be. All things being equal. Capacity to just behave in such a way that you are fair, you are good, you are excited, and you are also making money through great manners. Very vital. So please put positive character. Don't fight. Don't go into unnecessary argument. In the business parlance there, they say customer is king. Yes, correct. Customer remains king on the outside. But in the inside, in your business environment, behavior should be king. Where behavior is king within, customers will be king without. But where you lack the facility called behavior within your own spectrum, within your own area of coverage, then you won't see customer as king. And let me tell you, okay, and everyone out there, every criticism, comments, and concern of your customer is just another opportunity to make more money, to make more influence, to create more bonding, and to solve problems. And the problem you can see and fix is the one that gives value to people. And when it gives value to people, of course, that value will be paid for based on the intensity of the need at the moment. So the price you are paid is a function of the value that you deliver, that you create per time. So go out there, putting all these facilities to bear, and do good business, nice business. And you see, in the African climate, especially Nigeria, when you hear the word business, at times some people think it's just playing the smart one on somebody. Oh, I did business. It's business I did. You see, business is business. Be straightforward about it. Sir, this is how much I'm selling this. Oh, you don't necessarily need to say, I bought it at so and so, because accounting profit, for example, okay, is different from economic profit. In accounting profit, they just look at the cost content, the cost implication alone. They look at the monetary services involved. But economic profit will say, hey, don't just look at the funding inside. Oh, you put in 10,000, you got 15,000 naira, therefore your profit is 5,000. No. As economists, we want to see the alternative that you forgo. We want to see if you had invested that 10,000 naira in something else, will it have yielded you much more than just 5,000 naira? And so we look at various issues. So the idea of even mentioning how much you bought it is not warranted, because there are some other services apart from cost that is also included in what you are selling. And, let me make a humor here. Okay. I was in Transcorp Hilton some few years down the line to visit a senior friend, and you know how much they call a bottle of Coke for me. On the 11th floor, you see, it was so huge as to be, as one bottle, being able to buy 2 crates of minerals. So what are they selling? Not just the Coke, but the ambience, the facility around, the people you have around to interact with, interface with, and to share, rub minds and all of that. So you see, so many things go into your cost. So you don't need to necessarily tell your client, I bought it at so and so, I bought it at this and that. So be fair enough to do business. And the last C is commerce. Transaction. Transact well. Transact with your customer in mind. Transact to create a win-win situation. Not that you take all the wins and your customer is losing. Transact with the mindset of coming back again for continuity. Transact in such a way that your client will enjoy the service so well and to looking for you at another time, so that You can do that which you are known for because you have done it with the whole of your heart, and you see joy, you catch fun for doing it. When you have done all this, you know what you are going to get? Credibility. So when you become credible, that becomes a natural momentum to keep on keeping on in that line of business. So what do? Please just keep at it. You build a reputation in that line, and then build systems and structures, hire some other people, go into capacity building, and then help other people to learn your culture and custom. And before you know it, you are scaling. You create systems, you create structure to supply more to other places and to taking care of some other needs elsewhere. So these are the gamut of what it takes to identify a business per time.
Okay, looking at, thank you for that detailed information. Looking at it all, you see, it's still, as I mentioned earlier, that it's important that there should be effective concentration.
Very vital.
On the part of whoever that is doing the business. Because if you concentrate, you will see all these bits he has put in together. And as you miss out on any, you're also missing out on your money.
Yes.
You're also missing out on your future.
You miss out on your manner.
Yes,
manner too, not just money, but the manners of approach and all of that.
That way it will affect your purse or your pocket or your account. Because after all, the most important thing in business is to make more money. But as you make that money, let it be done in the right form.
To you, it is making more money. But to your client, it is having his needs met, his problems sorted out. That's why FANAFI. Can you remember FANAFI?
Of course,
it's very critical.
It's okay, finding a niche and
fixing
a need and fixing it.
Finding a need and fixing it.
And as I said,
very critical. So you FANAFIT it, and then you carry on. Very vital. You miss a point there, then
missing out on something.
You are missing out of something. And that's why we have a free incentive for everyone who cares to send to the social media of KAFTAN. Oh, I want to be able to test myself for business identity. Then you'll be able to score yourself and know where you stand. Because, okay, in life, where you stand does what? Determines what you see. If you are standing in the valley, I'm sorry, you may not see the other
side of it.
The
highest you can see is
just the walls and every other stone and all of that.
There are so many things
outside the valley. You can't stand in the valley and expect to be tall. Then somebody who is standing on the mountain will see everywhere and can have a better appreciation for which to make penetration that will eventually deliver what? Contribution. In the marketplace, it works. In the field, it works. Everywhere, it works. When you can put all of these 10 C's together and you fine-tune and focus, then you are good to go for business.
Well, you have had that. Doing business, I mentioned some areas, as I said, and he has also confirmed the fact that you must put in effort to make it all work. Good business requires good effort, because when you do so, then you're also doing good publicity for yourself, even if you don't go to the media outfit to talk about it. That character, that person, that personality that you're carrying along in that business can go a long way in telling the world about you about what you do.
And in so doing, you are building capacity. So capacity development is critical. It's not just knowing about it, but expanding the business, because there is market for you. You are always in demand. People demand for you and then for what you have to do and are doing. Very critical in business. So what business idea do you have? We can run this profiling for you and help you fix all the gaps. We'll look at your care over it. Is it just temporary? Oh, because there's at the snap of a finger, an opportunity just comes up, and then you are calling somebody, please, 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 can I get 50,000 naira? Can I get 5 million? Oh, I want to do this supply. Sorry, business has principles and rules. Quick fix does not, most of the time, fixes it quickly. So you need to be careful. Don't tread on caution and just think you can quickly make quick money. People say they make quick money, and then in an attempt to do that, they run into troubles and trouble waters.
I could say
why making quick money? They make quick trouble.
They run into quick trouble because the trouble is there lying and waiting for who will come for it.
And I must say, okay, for you to actually do business, please be very accommodating. Not as to just accepting people, be accommodating in hearing and in seeing. You will hear the good, the bad, and the ugly. Your capacity to turn the bad and the ugly into good is value creation. Don't run away from bad circumstances and situations. Rather, look at how to route it, engage it, and solve the problems. And any time you hear an individual complain over anything, it's just a symptom that, oh, I have a gap here. What can you do? You may not be able to do something directly, and that's why we'll talk about leverage in our days. Oh, you know somebody who can fix it. Then, as one who is a business-minded person, you don't just say, oh, I have this uncle, take his number. You are giving away. Then you can become a middleman, an intermediary, and say, oh, I can go around these things to produce this, to solve it. I have a friend who became a dealer in cars in this town. How did this start? He saw an opportunity. Somebody flew in from elsewhere, and he just felt like using his car to take the person to where he was going. And while they were going, they started engaging in a conversation. And the man said, well, I come to Nigeria and Abuja regularly, at least 4 times a year, and I need about this type of car, 4 fleet per time. So from there he felt, if I have 1, the man needs 4, and he comes all the time, what can I do to have more cars? That was how he sourced some funds, put those cars on ground, and began to service demand. Not only demand, some other places. And before you knew it, he became one who sells cars. So opportunities can come in the form of gaps you find elsewhere, loopholes that are created that you want to block. So instead of just complaining, turn complaint to commerce. That is business. Turn complaints to creativity. Be creative. Oh, you don't really know much about it, but you know somebody who does. Then partner with that individual. Collaborate. See, okay, you can make income in Nigeria, in Abuja, and anywhere without 1 kobo in your pocket. You may want to ask me how.
Yeah, go ahead, sir.
Simple. Look at the haves and the have-nots at any level. Low level, middle level, upper level. What do? Stand in the midst of them. Go and carry out your market research about people who have. What are their very specific and peculiar issues with what they have? They will tell you, this thing is just here. I don't even know what to do about it and all of that. So connect with him. After doing APC, like I told you, what is APC? Appreciation, penetration, and what? Contribution. That will help you to route his or her emotion for what he has, either goods or services, for which is just cumbering the ground and he has it. He doesn't know what to do with it. Link up with him and let him know you want to go into business relationship with him to dispose of these things, if they are goods, for example.
That reminds me of someone that needed
Yes.
to build a house, and he was staying on another street
Yes.
where there was a huge rock.
Can you see?
And that huge rock, he looked at and saw that he could ask people to come and break these huge rocks, and he will use these huge rocks to build that
The
house.
Yes.
So he went to the person that is like the most superior, most senior person,
Yes.
and told the fellow. He said, okay. He said, I'm thinking, let's move this rock, because this rock seems to be obstructing certain ways.
You see
here.
now?
He said, okay, if you can do that, that will be good.
Now pay
And
you
so they
for it.
encouraged him, and he removed the rock and took it to that ground and made use of it effectively.
The use of
And
it
those people
effectively.
on the other side didn't know that they just
What
saved him a
had
whole lot
happened?
of money
Can
to
you
use
see?
that to build.
In fact,
Well,
you can make multiple income.
Yes, and please, it's on that note that
Where
I
I'm
want to
going.
round off. Yes.
Yes.
Because of time on our side.
By the time you go
Yes.
to who have, go to the people who don't have and who needs it.
Yes.
And
send it
also,
across to them.
patron, have a deal and agreement and to say, okay, I'll bring this thing for you at so amount and all of that. At the end of the day, you make money at both ends.
Yes.
Without money.
Well, that's it. Thank you so much, Dr. James Komolafe. It's been good sharing the moment with you again today on
Thank
the
you very
program.
much.
And doing it this way, I believe it will be made better next week when we'll be here again next week, Wednesday, to talk. And I want to say thank you for coming.
Thank you very much. So out there you can check how good you are, good to go for business.
Yes, and that has been Dr. James Komolafe, behavioral change consultant or specialist, as you may like to call him. And that is also one of the many things he is, because as far as I know, he is a monetary instructor. And he's helping people become rich out of nothing. Well, that is how we'll round off our program today. Thank you, dear viewer, for being here. And of course, if we are not for the fact that you are watching, we wouldn't have continued. So please join us, because it's a continuous process. Join us on any of our social media handles, and you watch what we're doing. And not just watch, but make your own comments. And if you have questions, ask, so that we can pick it from there and continue. We are on all of the social media networks. So just look for KAFTAN TV and you will meet us there. Let me thank Adebayo Sanusi. I want to thank Victor Odeye, Victor Chizea, for all that has happened here today, not forgetting Sam Omaji. This is Okechukwu Onobogu saying, may the very best happen to us all the time.